Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Okay guys, how are you tonight? So we're talking about sacred space. We're moving on to level 2 of Alcyon Light Healing, part 2. And basically we're going to be talking about sacred space. And when I talk about sacred space, there's a couple of different ways to talk about it. I noticed, like, I looked to see what other people had put out about it, and everyone's like talking about creating like a space in your home, or creating a room, or creating a section of a room, which I feel like you can definitely do that to create a sacred space for yourself. Now, for me, I have sacred space like all over the place. In this house, I know some of you guys have seen the other room, especially if you were here for the Moon AQ rites. Since my Nana has been staying with us, that room has been kind of put on hold, but that whole room is set up for sacred space. That's my sacred place where I do healing sessions. I have a Reiki table, I have my singing bowls, I have a small altar in there, I've got crystals in there, books in there, all types of things in there that if I want to do something where I don't want the dogs involved, or I don't want my dad involved, or I don't want anybody else involved, but I want to, do something for myself, I'll go there. Or if I want to do a healing session with somebody else, I will go there. Now, this is my bedroom, but I've also created a sacred space in my bedroom. And I have these new galaxy lights that you guys can probably see. I'm going to show you guys that. That was like part of the whole thing, is creating the ambiance, creating like a place where it feels good to you. And I signed with this company. So if you want to get one of these, it's a projector, and you can save 10% by using my code DIVINE. And basically it has a laser, and then it has like this hard plastic thing that changes colors, and it does all these awesome things. I thought it was really cool for creating sacred space. When I don't have any light on at all, you can see how it changes up and it does different things. Like I can change the colors to blue, I can change the colors to green, I can change the color to white. It's so cool. You can basically do all different types of things, and I think I might have set it to change on its own actually. Oh no, I don't know what I did. But like I said, if you wanted to get one, they're really cool. I'm obsessed with it. I just ordered one for my niece for Christmas present. But it's really cool. It goes really high. But if you use my code DIVINE, you'll get to save 10%. Let me turn off the main light. There we go. See the little green lights poke on. It goes all the way up to the top of my ceiling. It's really, really cool, especially when I don't have a big light on. And like I said, you can change the colors and things like that. I really like it when it's red. I can't see anything. There we go. Now it's just going to change colors. So that's one way to create sacred space, is to just create the ambiance, to get the energy of things going. Now another way to do it, I feel, depending on your intention too, is important. So like, what is your intention? Is your intention to meditate? Obviously having something like that would be really cool. It actually has like a USB speaker built into it, so you can play music while you're using it. It's supposed to like mimic the waves of the ocean. So you can do things like that for yourself, or you can create sacred space for yourself in another different way. You can light candles. Something else that I do for me when I'm creating sacred space is I will use different incense or different types of products. This is natural white sage. So if I'm trying to cleanse an area, I use something like this. This is really powerful. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial, all types of things, and it really does cleanse the air, but it also cleanses the energy, it cleanses the space. So I will use something like this to cleanse when I want to like clear the space, or if I want to clear and clean my house. Like I cleaned my whole room tonight before we did this, because I feel like having a clean space is a sacred space. You don't want it to be chaotic, you don't want it to be a mess, you don't want it to be stinky, you want it to just like smell good and feel good and look good. That is creating like a sacred space for your home, creating a sacred space for yourself. Then I have all different types of incense. I use Moldavite incense, which I will put a link down below. I believe you can get it on Amazon. Moldavite is very, very powerful for starseeds. I've noticed for myself specifically. I actually used to get Moldavite oil, but I've had a hard time finding that Moldavite oil since the last time I've got some. But this is actually made from Moldavite. And Moldavite is made from, you know, like the... what do you call it? I can't think of it, like a meteorite, so it comes from outer space. So they actually have a little, yeah, Moldavite is the product of meteor collision with Earth nearly 15 million years ago. It fell over what is now called the Moldu River Valley in the Czech Republic, and these green gems are among the most rare minerals on Earth. They have been prized by humans for thousands of years and are still given as gifts from royalty to royalty. In legend, it is believed that Moldavite was the green stone of the Holy Grail and has the power to quicken one's spiritual evolution. Even people not sensitive to the energies of stones often feel the energy of Moldavite. Many sense it as heat, tingling, or pulsing sensations on their hands. Others feel a rush of energy through their body, usually upwards out the top of their head. Moldavite's high vibrational energy is a powerful chakra opener, particularly in the heart and above. Sleeping with Moldavite activates the dream state. Wearing it helps manifest positive life change, and this special blend of all natural ingredients contains the essence of Moldavite. It was created specifically to complement Moldavite energies. So I love to use this type here. I actually have a couple of them, but I'm weird. I'm really weird with stuff. Like, if I really like it, I like hoard it. I'm like, I'm never going to use it. I'm going to use it once a month or once a year. And it's like, I just hoard stuff. So I don't recommend hoarding it. I recommend using it. And then, you know, you can go to like any store that sells incense and grab like different types. Like I get the Voodoo Love. I have Palo Santo. I love, and I'm obsessed with Nag Champa. Nag Champa is like the best scent ever. And I have some right here. It looks like this, and a lot of places sell it. Like the place that I go to now is actually down the street from me. It's a liquor store, but they sell different incense and they have boxes of Nag Champa there. So I'll go in there and grab some. But again, I'm obsessed with it, so I hoard it. There's boxes of this all over the place. There's boxes in my sacred space room, and there's boxes in my room. But I think that is a great way to add to the energy of a sacred space. Another thing is Palo Santo. Let me just grab my Palo Santo dish. So I'll show you. I wanted to be able to show you guys a little bit more of my space because that's the whole point here. So over there is where I have a little table, and on the little table I have Palo Santo. Now when I'm doing any healing work, when I'm doing anything at all connected with spirit, like before I do a reading or before I do a healing session or before I do a meditation or whatever, I usually use Palo Santo. I love Palo Santo. I would say that this is also one of my favorite scents. And it depends on where you get it, because sometimes you can get some and it's like, you know, it's not Palo Santo. Like, it is Palo Santo, but it doesn't smell like the right Palo Santo. So I love Palo Santo. I'm kind of a snob about it. I was actually able to get some at like Marshall's and TJ Maxx. So it shows you that they're starting to like pop up in unexpected places, like Marshall's and TJ Maxx. In the beauty section of all places, I found a box. I'll grab you the box. Hold on one second. And I was so excited to get it. It's right here. So basically, they sell boxes now of Palo Santo. But you can order them on Amazon. You can order them on shamansmarket.com. I get a lot of stuff from shamansmarket.com. Something that's downstairs in my room that I can't show you right now is my Florida water. Now, Florida water, if you get Florida water, you want to get the yellow kind. You don't want to get the green kind. The green kind says New York right on it, and it just does not smell good. The kind that comes from Peru that is yellow is very, very good, and it's very powerful. It's, again, a cleanser. I use it in a spray bottle. I think I might have some right over there. Hold on one second. Yes, I do have some. So I put them right into a spray bottle and I spray my space before I work. And this is actually Moldavite oil, and you can see the little Moldavite piece inside there. I put this right on my hands. I'll put this on my wrist. I'll put this on my third eye. Wherever I feel called to go, put it. And it just smells like cinnamony and warm and yummy. Like I said, I had a hard time finding it. If I can find a link to it anywhere, I will give you guys the link down below. But I love to use this to cleanse like my space. Something else that I do is like I'll just spray the air. Just create sacred space by spraying the air. And something else that I use is my shaman's portable altar. Now this is called the mesa. Now this here, this big huge table full of tons of things, this is my main altar. This is where I have like all of my crystals. This is where I have all my cards. This is where I keep everything that I use on the regular basis. And then I kind of extend over to that side of the room. You can see like up there I have my singing bowl. Over there I have a little table with the singing pyramid. Over here behind us I have more things. Like I have, oh, where did I put that? I put my thing to create more stuff over here. So another way you can create sacred space is with essential oils. And I put this over here. It's usually on that little table, but I wasn't sure if I was going to show you over there. So basically you can just diffuse essential oils. You can use crystals. You can use different sprays. Like I make my own sprays. This is Palo Santo. This is Peaceful Calmness. Palo Santo is just putting Palo Santo into like water, and I use a little bit of witch's hazel so that it has like a place to stick, because otherwise oil and water do not mix, so you have to have something like witch's hazel in there. And then with this is cedar wood, lavender, frankincense, bergamot, lang lang, and then the witch's hazel with water, and it smells really, really good. This is called Peaceful Calmness. Something else that I do is Monet spray. Now this is very, very grounding, very, very protective. This is cedarwood, sandalwood, and Palo Santo together. Now that's one of my favorite ones. That's one of my best sellers. And then I have holy water. So this is another tool that you can use. You can get holy water. You can usually get holy water like if you go to the church, or if you are, connected with someone in the spiritual community. A lot of places will sell it, so you can, or they'll give it to you. I think most places will give it to you. And the trick with this is that when it starts getting low, you can add new water to it, and it's still blessed water. It's still holy water. So obviously you can see, like I've used it, but I've filled it back up with the intention to keep it pure, to keep it blessed, to keep it holy water. And I only really need to use this occasionally. Like if I've got somebody show up and they've got like a demon attachment, or I feel like I've got something on me, I'm like, I just spray myself with holy water. And I never believed in that stuff before. I never thought that I would need holy water. I never believed that there would be demons. But then I saw one, and then I had to deal with one, and then I had things happen to me as a result of dealing with someone else that had something inside of them. I literally did like an exorcism where someone's hands were all like, and ever since then I keep some on hand. And basically you can also use essential oils by themselves, like or you can like blend them together. Like I blend them together with my Pleiadian Passion, which is a rose, angelica root, alimi, and lavender. And basically I put it into coconut oil or a different type of carrier oil, and I put it right onto my hands. And so you're creating sacred space, but you're also creating like sacred energy around yourself. Like you're bringing yourself into a sacred space, because I feel like the whole point for me, specifically for creating sacred space, is to do healing sessions or to do healing work. Like I totally get the idea of like wanting to create sacred space for yourself, for your meditation, or for your home, or for, just to have a place to relax. But for me as a healer, and for you guys as I'm teaching you guys to be healers, to do Alcyon light healing, I want you guys to have these tools to know that like you can use these to set yourself up to create sacred energy, to create sacred space, to hold energy and to channel energy and to be the conduit for energy. So something else that I think that is great to use is sound. So I use my singing bowls, which I have one right over here. And just by playing the singing bowl, you can change the energy and frequency of the room. And it just kind of raises the vibration. It shifts the vibration. So having something like this, or having something like my little pyramid, are again great tools to create sacred space. It just changes the energy, it changes the frequency, your intentions infused there. Each one does something different. Like this one is set to do the heart chakra. It's pink. Now, not all of them will be pink. Some of them are just attuned to different frequencies. Like they'll be tuned to E or A or B, like the notes. Or some of them will have like certain hertz or something like that connected to it. But they usually will tell you before you buy something what it is. Like I have a Moldavite bowl. Hold on one second. So I have a Moldavite bowl, and this connects with the letter A, this note A, and the letter A, and it's the third eye. So this bowl is supposed to connect to your third eye, and it has Moldavite. And it's just another tool to create sacred space, or to do sacred healing, or to shift the vibration. And I feel like that's really what sacred space is shifting the vibration from, you know, something that's dense or heavy, or something that's like chaotic and just chaos and blah, too much, to creating like a soft, comfortable space. So that's like the big thing with sacred space. And then, hopefully that's gonna stay. Yes. Like I said, having crystals, having candles, having incense, all of those things are just things that you can add to it. But my big thing is intention. If you don't have a spray, if you don't have a candle, if you don't have the crystal, if you don't have the incense or this, whatever it is, your intention is the biggest part of creating sacred space. So you can go into a chaotic space and you can change the energy of a space. Like, and I've been told, you know, especially when I worked at places, like they would be like, we knew if it was going to be a good day or a bad day based off of you. Like if I would walk into the room, my energy just gave off like a certain vibe, and I was able to impact everybody else in the space. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way, depending on me, depending on how I was. So you have that ability too, to walk in and own a room and change the energy and frequency of a room. And another way to do that without all this stuff, without needing anything, is to open the vortex, which you guys have been taught how to do. And I'm sure you guys have noticed a shift when you open the vortex in your space. It's like, oh, something different just happened. Maybe you felt it, maybe you saw it, maybe you just kind of know it. But however it happens is how it happens, and that's how it's meant to happen for you. Now, again, when we open that vortex, we open a pillar of light. If you don't want to go through the whole thing, you can just ask to open a pillar of light. You know, like if you walk into somewhere and you're not feeling comfortable and you're feeling chaotic and you're feeling ungrounded, just put your hands into prayer position and ask whoever you want to ask. I usually ask the emissaries of light, or I'll ask Archangel Michael. Depends on my energy, it depends on my mood. I have like a whole spiel I usually spit out, but if I'm just like somewhere and it's like, I would just be like, emissaries of light, please assist me in sending down a pillar of light. Boom. And just give them that second and that moment to create. Breathe it in and relax. And then you can take it, because it's usually going to be right around you, and you can push it out to encompass however much of a space you want to encompass. You can encompass the room you're in, you can encompass the entire home that you're in, or in a building, Something I used to do, like when I would go to the hospital for my mom, it was always a very chaotic place. It was always very draining for me as an empath, and it would make me feel shitty, and so I would go in and I would open the vortex and expand it out so that everybody that was there, that was suffering, that did not feel good, that was stressed out trying to figure out why they didn't feel good, that was stressed out with their own lives, it's just whatever was happening, I wanted to transmute that energy and send good energy to everybody in that space. And I noticed that would help me a lot. And it would also help me to be able to leave my mother, because I would go in and I wouldn't want to leave after, you know, I was there for hours upon hours upon hours. And I'd always feel like as soon as I left, something bad was going to happen. So setting up the vortex or setting up a pillar right on her was like, okay, I'm good to go. She'll be safe for 8 hours. I'll be back tomorrow. So if you're dealing with something like that, you know, using that as like your standby of like it's like you're giving your energy to something for those next 8 hours, or you're giving your energy out to, not your energy, you're giving energy to that situation. It was like my mother, I felt like it was partly my energy because I wanted to be the one that was like there, and that was like my control thing. But the thing you want to be doing is asking for the divine to protect, for the divine to come through, for the divine energies to be assisting you. That's why I say call on the emissaries of light, call on Archangel Michael, call on whoever, because they're going to help to deliver the energy, and they have infinite supplies of energy. They have infinite beings that will go work for them to go do different things. Like Archangel Michael has like infinite legions of lights. And that means that when you call on him to open up a pillar of light, or you call on him to, you know, work with you or cut cords or whatever, it's like there's multi-dimensional versions of him. So it's like if you and me do it at the same time, he's available. So you don't have to feel bad about calling on them. Call on them. And again, with like the light of Elsion, when we use that light, that is an infinite source of light. You can call on it and allow it to come through that vortex and set the intention for whatever you want, because you've got those 3 diamonds too. So the first diamond houses all the soul information, the second diamond houses like the physical information, and the third diamond connects to Mother Earth and to that energy. And so a lot of times, like depending on what I'm doing, I will say certain things like, last night I had 2 very long healing sessions to do. That's why I didn't do this last night, because I'm still recovering from Lyme, and the person needed to do some past life stuff. So when I opened up the vortex, I was like connecting with her I am presence from all of those multi-dimensional lives so that we could do work with her past lives. And it was so weird because I use my mesa during my sessions. Like I open this up and everything in here has something that represents something specific. I have the Champi Stones that connects with the chakras. And this is basically, like I said, a portable altar. So this is like portable sacred space. This is the tools of the healer. And you can bring everything with you. You can bring candles with you. You can bring your sprays with you. Like it has a little pocket right here. So you can put stuff right here. Like if I wanted to bring my Florida water, I put it right there in that pocket. But like I was saying last night when I was doing the session on her, usually when I set it up, and I'll kind of show you guys really quickly. When I set it up so that there's like a circle, and that circle has, it's a representation of that person's life that I'm working with. So I open up the main cloth, and then I create like a square with it. So I create like a square with the main cloth of my mesa. And then the second one is the interior of the mesa. And I usually create that, like I'll create it like this. I have like the diamond almost. And then you can see right here I have this rope. So this rope, I create a circle. And the circle represents that person's life, okay? So everything that's in here is connected to their life. Everything that I'm doing is connected to the interior of their world. And then these are Champi Stones, and there's one for every chakra. So they start off with number 1 point for the root, and they go on and go on and go on. 2 points for the sacral, 3 points for the solar plexus, 4 points for the heart, so on and so forth. And then all of my stones that are in here represent something. And when I did her work, you know, I set everything up inside the circle. You know, we'll just throw it together real quickly. Say like her foundation was in the feminine energy, and her heart was in the masculine energy, and her ancestors are working with her going forward, taking a leap of faith forward with life. And you know, basically everything was in here. But as I went through her healing, as I went through her root and all of her different chakras, they were having me take them out of the circle and putting them outside of it. And I didn't understand it at first, but then I realized why. It's because we weren't working on this life. We were working on other lifetimes. So there's always going to be things that you do that don't make sense to you in the moment. But once you do something, or once you, like, because after I did her session and I do an overview afterwards, I was like, oh, it's because we were working on other lifetimes that were outside of this circle. And we didn't want to bring that energy into the circle. But you see, like, it's all intention, and spirit guides it, and spirit will guide you if you allow them to. If you allow them to guide you, like these stones, like I found this stone and I just knew it meant foundation. I was like, oh, like I don't know why, it just reminds me of like a stamp, like foundation, like this is your boom, this is your foundation, and like this is my frog. And this represents like taking the leap of faith forward. And it's got the little eye and the little leg, like he looks like he's ready to jump. So that means that people are ready to jump. I did, you know, work with in the direction of the south and activated this stone for ancestors the day after my mother died. And after that, my niece picked this stone up and said, Graham, she knew. And so it's like those little moments, those little synchronicities, those little things, that shows you that you've created something sacred. You've created sacred space, you've created sacred tools. Like these are just rocks. You don't need to go buy crazy things. You don't need to go do crazy things. You don't need to have a whole room in your house designated to being sacred space. You don't have to have a Reiki table to do healings on somebody. You just need to be the divine energy and allow that divine energy to flow through you, and like own the energy, like be in your power, be like, I am the creator of my reality, and if I say the energy is going to do something, it's going to do something, and trust it and look at it and intertwine with it and see what happens as a result of it. And you're always going to get those little confirmations. Like I wasn't sure I never know what I'm doing when I'm doing something, but afterwards I always get that synchronicity. So again, this is a small, like, portable altar, and this is a way to create sacred space while you travel. And basically it's like the healer's tools all in one. And like I said, you don't have to have fancy tools. These are just stones. And the Champi Stones you can get on shamansmarket.com. You can get them on Etsy. You can get them on eBay. They can be expensive, but you, like I said, you don't need those. You can go outside and find stones that represent mother, you know, like each chakra, or Mother Earth, or Mother Sky, or Father Sky, the first chakra, the second chakra, the third chakra. And as long as you know what that stone means, that's all that matters. And then work with it. And then these are kind of expensive, but like, that's the thing too. When you're in alignment with spirit, when you're in alignment with having sacred space and doing sacred work, this was gifted to me. The Champi Stones were gifted to me. All of these huge crystals were gifted to me. Almost everything that's big and expensive was gifted to me. My singing bowls, gifted to me. The only singing bowl I bought was $15. That white one was $15 on Amazon. I mean on eBay. And I got a good deal, and spirit guided me to it, and I got it, and there you go, $15, and I have my tools that I need. But basically, you will be guided. You will receive what you need. So don't make a big deal out of, I've got to have this, I got to have that. Just shift the energy with your intention, with your voice. You know, like you could do singing when you walk into a space that you feel like the energy's off. You could do light language. Like I was on TikTok last night real quick before I went to bed, and there was a girl who was doing light language, and I could feel it. And that's the only time I believe or trust the light language, is when I feel it from the people, because some people are just like, and like they're not doing anything, they're just being weird. But she was actually doing stuff that I could feel like the energy coming off of her, and I could feel like where it was supposed to be and all of that. Like, and I didn't know. I went and looked afterwards at other videos of her, and it was like the first one I clicked on confirmed everything I had felt in the first one I watched. The second video I watched, she was talking about like where she was feeling sensations, like a pulsing in her solar plexus and like this energy going up the back of her head. I had felt that in the video I watched from her. So that was my way of getting confirmation that I wasn't crazy in that moment, that what she was doing was actually real. But it's something that shifts the vibration, and it creates sacred space just by her using her voice. So if you're somebody that knows light language or feels guided to do it, do it. And everybody can do it differently. Some people do it like, woo. Some people do the, and they do the hand motions and stuff like that. I do it when I'm by myself, but I don't like to do it on camera, just because I feel weird doing it, and that's my ego. That's my whole thing. I got to work on and figure that out. But you can literally create sacred space with that type of energy. You can create sacred space just by singing a song, you know, like when we do like drumming circles, you can play the drum to a certain dum 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 dum, and you can play music. You can, you know, get a chant going, like gum gum gum, just whatever you want to do. It's gonna shift the vibration, and if there's more people there with you to add to it, even better. If it's just you by yourself, awesome sauce, because then you don't have to deal with everybody else's energies and trying to get them to be like aligned with yours. You can just create sacred space for yourself. You can do it outside. You can do it in your bedroom. You can do it in your bathroom. You could create sacred space by taking out like a sacred bath with putting some crystals in the water, putting some salts in the water, lighting a couple candles, turning the lights down. You know, literally, you can create sacred space anywhere you are, any way you want. But I think the main thing is having that intention as the healer. That's when you get more into like the tool parts of it. And then if you don't have the tools, you just use the vortex or the pillar of light, and all you got to do is ask for it. You don't need to be special. You don't need to be activated. You don't need to be whatever. Like, you just have to believe in it, trust in it, use your intention, know that you have that power to create, and it will come. You don't, like, nobody came to me and was like, hey, here's Alcyon light healing, blah, 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 blah. Like, they came to me and did it, but like, I was the one that had to do all the other work. I was the one that had to trust all this other stuff, and everything was guided to me as well. So I feel like you're going to know if you're meant for it or if you're not. Like, if you're not meant for it, you're not meant for it. Don't force it. Don't push it. Just let someone else be the one that heals you. But if you're meant to be a healer, you're going to feel it. You're going to know it. Just trust it. Just do it and let it be. Okay? So hopefully that made some sense for you guys. Thank you very much. In Mune. Namaste.